This is Sheni, the second reading of the second Parshat, or double weekly Torah portion, Masei. The second reading of Masei, Sheni, is in Sefer Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, chapter 33, verse 11 through 49. 39 verses, and starting from verse 11. Vayisu miyam suf vayachanu bamidbar sin. They journeyed from the Red Sea, and they camped, or the Sea of Reeds, and they camped in the desert of Sin. Vayisu bamidbar sin vayachanu b'dofka. They journeyed from the desert of Sin and camped in Dofka. Vayisu midofka vayachanu b'alush. They journeyed from Dofka and camped in Alush. Vayisu me'alush vayachanu b'refidim. V'lo haya sham mayim la'am lishtot. They journeyed from Alush and camped in Refidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. Vayisu me'refidim vayachanu b'midbar Sinai. They journeyed from Refidim and camped in the Sinai desert. Vayisu me'midbar Sinai vayachanu b'kivrot ta'ava. They journeyed from the Sinai desert and camped in Kivrot Ta'ava. Vayisu mikivrot Ta'ava vayachanu b'chatzerot. They journeyed from Kivrot Ta'ava and camped in Chatzerot. Vayisu m'chatzerot vayachanu b'ritma. They journeyed from Chatzerot and camped in Ritma. Vayisu meritma vayachanu b'rimon paretz. They journeyed from Ritma and camped in Rimon Paretz. Vayisu merimon paretz vayachanu b'Livna. They journeyed from Rimon Paretz and camped in Libna. Vayisu meLivna vayachanu b'Risa. They journeyed from Libna and camped in Risa. Vayisu meRisa vayachanu b'Kehelata. They journeyed from Risa and camped in Kehelata. Vayisu meKehelata vayachanu b'Har Shafer. They journeyed from Kehelata and camped in Mount Shafer. Vayisu mehar Shafer vayachanu b'Charada. They journeyed from Mount Shefer and camped in Charada. Vayisu mecharada vayachanu b'Makelot. They journeyed from Charada and camped in Makelot. Vayisu miMakelot vayachanu b'Tachat. They journeyed from Makelot and camped in Tachat. Vayisu mitachat vayachanu b'Tarach. They journeyed from Tachath and they camped in Tarach. Vayisu meTarach vayachanu b'Mitka. They journeyed from Tarach and camped in Mitka. Vayisu meMitka vayachanu b'Chashmona. They journeyed from Mitka and camped in Chashmona. Vayisu meChashmona vayachanu b'Moserot. They journeyed from Chashmona and camped in Moserot. Vayisu miMoserot vayachanu b'Bnei Ya'akan. They journeyed from Moserot and camped in Bnei Ya'akan. Vayisu miBnei Ya'akan vayachanu b'Chod Chor HaGidgad. They journeyed from Bnei Ya'akan and camped in Chor HaGidgad. Vayisu miChor HaGidgad vayachanu b'Yadvata. They journeyed from Chor HaGidgad and camped in Yadvata. Vayisu miYadvata vayachanu b'Avrona. They journeyed from Yadvata and camped in Avrona. Vayisu me'Avrona vayachanu be'Etzion Gaver. They journeyed from Avrona and camped in Etzion Gaver. Vayisu me'Etzion Gaver vayachanu b'Midbar Sin hu Kadesh. They journeyed from Etzion Gaver and camped in the desert of Sin, which is Kadesh. Vayisu me'Kadesh vayachanu be'Hor Hahar b'Ktsei Eretz Edom. They journeyed from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, the edge of the land of Edom. Vayal Aaron HaKohen el Hor Hahar al pi Adonai vayamat sham vishnat ha'arba'im latzet b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim b'chodesh ha'chameshi be'echad lachodesh. Aaron the Kohen ascended Mount Hor at the Lord's bidding and died there on the first day of the 5th month in the 40th year of the children of Israel's exodus from Egypt. ואהרון בן 23 ומאת שנה במותו בהור ההר. And Aaron was 123 years old when he died at Mount Hor. וישמע הכנעני מלך ערד, והוא יושב בנגב בארץ כנען, ובוא בני ישראל. The Canaanite king of Arad, who dwelt in the south, in the land of Canaan, heard that the children of Israel had arrived. ויסעו מהור ההור, ויחנו בצלמונה. They journeyed from Mount Hor and camped in Salmona. ויסעו מצלמונה ויחנו בפונון. They journeyed from Salmona and camped in Punon. ויסעו מפונון ויחנו באובות. They journeyed from Punon and camped in Ovot. ויסעו מאובות ויחנו באיי העברים בגבול מואב. They journeyed from Ovot and camped at the ruins of Abarim on the Moabite boundary. ויסעו מאיים ויחנו בדיבון גד. They journeyed from the ruins and camped in Dibon Gad. ויסעו מדibon Gad ויחנו באלמון דיבלתיימה. They journeyed from Dibon Gad and camped in Almon Diblatayma. ויסעו מאלמון דיבלתיימה ויחנו בהרי העברים לפני נבו. They journeyed from Almon Diblatayma and camped in the mountains of Abarim in front of Nevo. ויסעו מהרי העברים ויחנו בערבות מואב על ירדן יריחו. They journeyed from the mountains of Abarim and camped in the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. ויחנו על ירדן מבית הישימות עד אבל השיטים בערבות מואב. They camped along the Jordan from Beth Yeshimot until Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab.